Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You came back. In this week's video, what I have for you is something completely different. Well, it's not completely different. I've done things kind of similar to this before, but I have been dipping my nails for about going on 4 years now. And over the last year or so, I've just been like writing down things that I've been learning that I may or may not have just like said in a video for just like a few tips for like a flawless mani. A few things that I found that really help in making sure my nails are okay, decent. They're all right. I mean, they're right and shit. With that, I'm just gonna tell you my few tips for a flawless mani. My first tip is to always start with your dominant hand. I'm left-handed. I start with my left hand most of the time unless I forget and I start with my right hand. But most of the time I will start with my left hand. And the reason I say start with your dominant hand is because I find that by the time I'm getting through my mani, I am over it. Your dominant hand is harder to do. So if you get it out of the way first, by the time you're like sick of it and you're over it and you don't want to do this anymore, you're going to be able to do your other hand, your easier hand better, faster. Lay your finger into glitters. So tap your jar down, lay your finger on top of the glitter or into a cupcake liner or a paper plate or plastic spoon or anything that you can just lay your finger into and you will get the best coverage. If you have a very cakey powder, you want to pour these ones over. Don't dip into cakey powders. They are the worst for buckling and you want to try and get as smooth of an application as possible with cakey powders because they also tend to be the ones that like take forever to buff and file. Along that line, if you find that all of a sudden it is taking you longer to buff and file, it's time for a new file and buffer. If you find yourself struggling to get through designs before your base is drying, I 100% recommend Aisle 21 as the base that you use. And if you're just learning how to do an ombre or you're just learning how to do any of the things that take like time to do, Aisle 21, it's the base top coat in one. They have a 3-step and they have a 2-step. I definitely recommend the 2-step, that base top coat. It dries so slow. It's like kind of annoyingly slow if you're just like regular dipping, but if you're doing, I've grabbed it a few times when I've had to do like art that I like needed more time on. So definitely recommend Aisle 21's base top. If you are brand new to dipping, I 100% recommend getting onto the buy, sale, trade Facebook groups and finding yourself some samples of colors before you go buying 2-ounce jars from iGel when you're not even sure you're gonna like this color and you're just starting out to make a small collection. Before you even know if you're gonna like enjoy dipping, I definitely recommend going and buying some samples. I wish I would have done that at first and it will save you a lot of money over time because girl, I have like 600 I still have like 600 colors and I haven't even touched half of them. So I 100% recommend if you're going to go crazy and have a bunch of colors, go buy samples from the buy sell trade, and I will leave links down below to some of my favorite buy sell trade groups if you're not in any already. Okay, if you have lifting problems, if you have lifting at the tip of your nail, most likely that comes from not capping your tip, which capping your tip just means making sure that you get your base and your top coat around the top of your fingernail, just doing a pass over the tip, and then your nail will separate from the dip powder if you haven't done that just with tapping on shit a lot, especially if you're like at a computer and you're typing all day. It's going to cause that if you don't cap really well. You want to make sure that if you're going to shape your nails really well, that you're going to want to make sure to cap your nails. That way you can still shape and get that sharp edge for your shape without filing down to your fingernail. Definitely make sure you're doing it with your base as well as your top coat. And if you're getting lifting at the cuticle, there are many things that can be causing this. Most likely it comes from debris still on your nail from not getting it all off. And I would 100% recommend a glass cuticle pusher. Girl, I do not like glass. I don't like glass files. I don't like glass cuticle pushers. I just don't like glass in general. Like I'm a weird person that like actually is afraid of broken glass. It just freaks me the fuck out. I don't like it at all. But I am telling you, there is nothing better than a glass cuticle pusher. It will get stuff off of your nail that even if I use a cuticle remover, it gets more off even after that. So I'm just saying, get yourself a glass cuticle pusher to get that stuff off. Along those lines, also, if you're still having lifting and you're using cuticle remover, it could be your cuticle remover. I've heard that Blue Cross is the best not getting lifting when you use it, because I know Sparkle & Co. is pretty bad. I've used Diplomatics and I never really had issues, but I don't have lifting problems anyway. So if you are a person that has lifting problems, you might, I don't know. But I've heard that the Blue Cross is like the best cuticle remover for not having lifting. When you're doing your dip and you've set out your combo, always start with your lightest solid color and go to your darkest solid color and do glitters after that. That way you're not contaminating your brush as you move along through your mani. And along those lines, if I say along those lines one more time, I swear to God, to that, I will also add, if you are doing reds, they are going to stain your brush. So make sure you're doing your reds last. And it will come off in the bottle, like once you set it in and you leave it for the next week or 3 weeks, however long it is between when you do your nails, it'll come off and it won't be on there next time you do your nails. But if you go straight from red into like white or nude or anything like that, it will leave a red tint. So you're going to want to do red last. No matter what dip powder it is, it's gonna stain your brush. Red stains really bad. We all know this. We all drink red wine and spilled it on the carpet before, right? It stains really bad. If you struggle with removal for glitters, do a dip of clear underneath your glitters, or even do 2 dips of clear. Just build your apex with clear, because here's the thing also, you tend to only do 2 dips of glitters, right? I mean, I don't know that there are very many glitters out there that I've needed to do more than 1, possibly 2 dips of. So if you do 2 or 3 dips of clear, get file, buff, get your nail all shaped the way you want it, do 1 more pass of base, let it dry, and then go into your glitters, and your removal will be so much faster. So much faster. If you use a stiff nail brush to dust off your nails, use a fluffy brush the first time and then use a stiff brush, which I 100% recommend using a stiff brush, because it makes your nails so much thinner and your application go on so much better. But I have found that using a stiff brush, sometimes on your first pass, it's like the dip doesn't adhere to your nail well enough. So I definitely recommend on your first go around using a fluffy brush, and then after that using a stiff brush on every other dip. If you can, have separate bottles of liquids and clear for glitters and solids. I'm telling you, this is the smartest thing I've ever done, because there have been so many manis that had messed up getting that one freaking glitter in my white dip or whatever it is, and it drove me absolutely crazy. I cannot stand it. And then you have to remove, or you have to like file it down in the middle of your mani. Just get 2 separate ones if and when you can. It'll make the world of difference. As far as removers go, I know a lot of people have come to realize that the blue Onyx 100% acetone remover, the one with coconut oil, they have watered down and it's no good anymore. I've heard it works for some people, but I've started just using the white version of that and putting coconut oil in it, and it does basically the same thing. It helps to keep your hands nourished. You can also just put coconut oil on your hands and then put your hand into the bag of remover, and it kind of creates that barrier for your skin, but doesn't cause the dip to take forever to remove. Something I have learned very recently is that most all clear dip powders are the same. And I'm saying that as a small business owner, that they are all really good. They are all really clear. The key is making sure that you get enough base when you dip into the clear. If you get enough base so that it kind of looks wet, but don't double dip it, that will turn out to be 100% clear on your nails, like you don't have anything on them. When you're filing your nails to get a very nice apex, I recommend filing on the sides of your nails, like on these sides, and rounding it off, which makes like such a beautiful natural looking apex. If you are really struggling to grow your nails out and it seems like you can never get them to grow, I'm telling you, you've got to start teabagging your nails. I know it sucks. I know it's an extra step. Nobody wants to do it, but it sincerely helps a lot. I went for a few months being like, no, I'm just going to trim my nails down every time I break them. I don't want to do a teabag anymore. And my nails were short. You can go back and look on my Instagram. They were short. For months, they were short. Then I started teabagging them again, and now they're finally starting to get long, and I don't have any teabags. Don't look at my thumbs. They don't count. They're finally starting to grow back out long, and I haven't had to use teabags. I don't know why. It's like your nails catch up to each other. If you just teabag them for a while, your nails will grow out so much faster, and your hands will get used to the fact that you have long hands. Long hands? Long nails. Part of the reason why you keep breaking nails is because you're not used to having long nails. So if you keep trimming them down every time you break one, you're never going to get used to it and you're never going to grow your nails out. Just teabag those bitches, I'm telling you. So y'all know I'm the queen of toothpicks. Like, I love a toothpick around the cuticle to get a close cuticle. It has worked for me for so long. Recently, I've discovered something new though. I've started using my cuticle pusher on this end because it has like a curve to it and it fits curved right against my skin, and I can get in there so close. And these are so cheap on Amazon. It's like $6. I will put a link in, but this, girl, better than a toothpick. You can get in so close. And my final tip that I have for y'all is that if you are going to use Virgo and Gem liquids, which I 10 out of 10 recommend Virgo and Gem liquids, but if you're going to use Virgo and Gem liquids, you've got to do at least like 4 dips because they are so thin, which is great for application, but if you don't do 4 dips, you will chip, crack, break your nails. So that is all I have for you this week, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry so much I'm like distracted by my cat. I can't help it. He's just so freaking cute and he won't leave me alone. He doesn't want to be picked up though. He just wants to rub himself against me to be pet and purr really loudly and scratch my legs if I don't pet him. So I'm gonna go cuddle with my cat because I'm now a crazy cat lady, apparently. Yeah, you come off truck driving, get a couple of cats, and all of a sudden, it's your whole life. So I have links to all of my social media down below and any and everywhere you can find me and all of that stuff. And if you have any requests for a video or anything you'd like to see, please let me know. I will try and make that happen for you. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Bailey, why you gotta ruin it though?